I'm Kumasaka and I run a select shop in Kamimachi Setagaya. Well, it's what you'd call a select shop. However, our company's main business is sales for various brands, assisting with their sales and such. So considering that, we carry a lot of those items and we try to stock things that you wouldn't normally find in shops in Shibuya or Harajuku. That's the kind of shop it is. The origin of the shop's name, well, fridge, means refrigerator in American English. I wanted the name to evoke the image of something you open immediately when you get home. That was one reason. Also, I happen to really like a shop called Eternal in Shizuoka, and its initial is E. So seeing that shop made me think, I want to start a shop. So I looked for a word that starts with F, like fridge. That's how it is. When I was 20, I first got a job at what is now Freak Store. Back then it was more of a vintage shop, more vintage than it is now. Then I quit, and after that I joined BEAMS as a sales associate. After that I had the chance to work as a buyer, and when I was involved in that, I met a brand that became my first sales agency brand. After leaving BEAMS, I was asked by a brand I used to buy from during my BEAMS days if I was interested in doing sales, freelance, or what's called rep work. The idea of being able to do things freely interested me, so I wanted to give it a try, and that's how I started the sales agency business, I suppose. Of course, at first I was envisioning a showroom-like thing, but then I thought, it's better to understand how people running a shop feel. Also, when I first started as an agent and went to regional shops to do sales, some older guys said to me things like, "You don't understand how shop owners feel, do you?" It actually happened a few times. I honestly felt a bit like, shut up, then I'll do it myself. That's the truth. So when I actually tried it, it was better to have a showroom or work with brands I was selling. But I hated being told that I was doing something easy, so I kept going, and that's how it ended up being this way. In conclusion, having a shop means people gather, so it's easier to hire staff, that's true. But rather than doing it because I really wanted to run a shop, it's more like it turned out well. That's really the situation. Right, now my wife and children are in Hokkaido, so I live there too. And I have one shop in Hokkaido. There was a time when I had 3 shops, but now I'm down to 1. I officially moved there about 4 years ago, but for the past 7 or 8 years, I've been working as a sales agent. Since Tokyo and Hokkaido are so far apart, I thought a salesperson who knew Hokkaido shops well would be beneficial. That was one of my ideas. Also, since the pandemic, living in 2 places has become a trend, but I had wanted to do that a while ago. That was something I had in mind. So, even though I had no connections at all, I like snowboarding. That was my first reason for going. I wanted to do something where I didn't know anyone or have any ties. That was my initial thought. I went to Sapporo, and I guess it just suited me more than I expected because I just ended up staying there. So that shop there is kind of similar. The interior is a bit nicer though. It's made in a pretty nice way. The exterior is like this. In Kamimachi, there's a Boroichi market, and a lot of people like these used magazines, so we put old magazines out. You could just throw them away, but we give them to people who want them. Also, these shoes on top, since we used to sell vintage clothing, I didn't want to throw away shoes that didn't sell, so I planted them, and it became a big deal. Now people come to see it because they find it interesting. And the design of this sign, I have a friend in Hokkaido who's a lumberjack, and he made it for me, so we put it up. Now, let me show you inside the shop. Okay, right when you enter, it's like this, and over here, well, what should I say? It's more like accessories, glasses, and accessories-related items. We don't have a clear distinction between men's and women's, but the items near the entrance are a bit more feminine. And over here, it's like this, the items we're promoting the most right now. It's probably arranged like this, according to the manager's preferences. In terms of brands, these glasses are from Waiting for the Sun. I'd like to try stocking higher-end glasses, but since we don't have an optician, I wanted to try offering slightly nice glasses around 20,000 yen, so that's the brand we've started with. Yeah, and this brand is the popular McMahon brand, and these are their knitwear. The sleeve length is like this. It's a very popular brand, and they also have winter items. The designs are interesting with letters on them. They're popular every time we stock them. And this is Fati, a hemp brand that was one of the reasons I started the sales agency business. It's a brand that mainly uses hemp. Yeah, a lot of items using hemp. Our shop has been carrying this brand ever since we opened, so it's a popular brand for us. We try to stock as much simple, unbleached items as we can, and also items dyed with coffee. These hats on the right, we started carrying them this spring. It's a brand called Halo Commodity, which specializes in hats. It's a very popular brand among people who do training, trail running, and outdoor activities. They have straw hat-like ones and things like this. You can adjust the sizes and it's a very functional brand. The prices are also very affordable and they come with some extras. It's a very thoughtful brand. We just started carrying them, but they've been a hit. Not just with mountain climbers, but also with people in Kamimachi. They're also very popular and sell well in Sapporo. We also have food items here, but the stock is reduced at this time of the year due to high product arrivals. But we always have the Small Twist, a brand that we temporarily stopped carrying, but recently we've kept it in stock. As you can see, it's dried food. It's actually food for trail running and mountain climbing. Basically, you just open it and add hot water and it becomes really delicious. The flavor is really good, so I asked them if I could sell it here, since it's too good for mountain climbing shops alone. It's an original product from a restaurant called Dill, located in Yatsugatake, Nagano, or Yamanashi. Well, this is also handmade, so we don't get a lot of stock. But when we do, it sells out right away, so it's something I highly recommend. It's very popular. Over here, this used to be the counter. The things on this shelf are things that I really liked and added little by little. There are a few food items, and although I try not to stock dishes, we have these dishes. Small items, and we also have snowboarding DVDs. This area is mostly for my personal hobbies. Speaking of brands, around here, Klättermusen is a brand that we help with their sales. It's a Swedish outdoor brand, and it's a serious, authentic, pricey one, but it's pretty popular and well received by customers. The corner in the back is closed today, but it's a corner that the manager has put together well. 4WD is a new brand for us. It's a brand run by Aaron, one of the original members of Supreme. I was keeping an eye on it on Instagram and we were finally able to stock it, so it just came in now. I'm a big guy, so they go up to 2XL, which is nice. It's just a regular t-shirt, but I wanted to have a street brand that older guys could wear. Well, we obviously can't stock Supreme, so we've included brands that aren't related but have that street vibe. That's one of the brands we were doing. We also carry a variety of women's items, including underwear from Hanky Panky, an American underwear brand. Things like thongs, basically. It's a bit awkward for me to introduce this, but when guys come to buy clothes, I thought it'd be a smart idea to have something they could buy as a souvenir for their girlfriend or wife, since they are around 3,000 to 4,000 yen. We also have camisoles like this. I'm the only buyer, but there's a girl who goes with the manager to buy them, and since I have no idea, she chooses what she likes. This area is like the manager's personal taste. And these are the soccer jerseys from the popular brand Bao in collaboration with Umbro. They're always a hit. I really want them, to be honest. But they don't have my size, so it would just become a collection piece, so I don't buy them. They're always popular. Can I say this? They're inspired by Ajax, a Dutch team, so soccer fans really like them. They're really cool. I buy them every time, and Bal is a very interesting brand. It's been about 2 years since we started working with them and we're very grateful. It's a very us brand, yes. And these socks are from Henrik Vibskov, a brand that's shown in Paris Fashion Week. He's a textile designer from the Netherlands. It's a brand that a classmate of the people behind the popular Japanese brand Noma is running. I've seen their collection once, and it's a rare, modish brand for our shop. They're girls' socks, but honestly, I kind of like the idea of girls wearing these. That's why we have them. The patterns are really interesting, but since it's not good if there are too many colors, we only stock the green ones. We do it like this, and they're a popular gift item. Around here we have items from Be Beautiful, a brand from Los Angeles. I think they used to live in Canada. This is another brand I became friends with on Instagram. It's an interesting brand, but some of the items are a bit hard to introduce, but it's an interesting brand. There are a lot of unusual and uniquely designed items. It's a brand with a gradually growing fan base, and it's not something you can find everywhere, so we want to push this brand. And this Mine brand is a t-shirt brand from LA that recently started sales. They come in this kind of masculine packaging, very solid, like a typical American brand. The size balance is very modern and it's a highly recommended brand. They offer items for both men and women and it's selling very well right now. So we're looking forward to working with them in the future. In the future, I'm doing shop business, wholesale, and sales agency. And another thing I'm doing now, which I found interesting living in Hokkaido, is producing roadside stations. We don't have clothing in these roadside stations yet, but I wanted to create a roadside station that sells a bit of strange items with this kind of atmosphere. I don't think there will be a lot of new shops opening, so I think places where people gather, like roadside stations, are ideal. It'd be interesting if my friends' brands were there. So we're starting to establish bases. Well, as for the shops themselves, if we find good properties or good staff, we would definitely want to open more shops. That's something we would consider. Well, for fridge, I want to keep doing it here, as long as the landlord doesn't tear down the building. Our customers in Kamimachi really like it, so I'm grateful. I hope we can become a part of the community.